A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star at its rising and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where is the Christ was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and ascertained from them in the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word, that I too may go and do him homage." After their audience with the king, they set out. And behold, the star that they had seen rising at its rising preceded them until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. Then they opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And have been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. This feast of the Epiphany of the Lord, I imagine, gets a little confusing to some people who have not celebrated it a lot in their life. Even the people who seem to be the focus, they're called the Magi, or they're astrologers, or they're the three kings, or they're the wise men. Which are they? And my choice is the wise men. And this homily is about why. Whoever they were people who lived in a land distant from Israel. And somehow they experienced a religious darkness. Somehow they felt that what they had was not enough, and they wanted something more. And somehow they had the wisdom to see in the star a way out, a way that would lead them from the darkness to the light. And these wise men had the courage to follow that light and to search for Jesus. That's what they were doing. They were on a journey. They were searching for Jesus, who would be for them the light they were looking for. And then, intriguingly enough, somebody gets in the way. And that one is Herod. So they end up in Jerusalem, and they tell him, yes, and so we're searching for the King of the Jews. Well, he says, you found him. I'm the King of the Jews. They must have thought, this isn't right. But they had the wisdom to know that Herod was the fake king. The real king was somewhere else. And they would not be deterred. And they were going to find him. And they continued to search for Jesus until they found him in a stable. And they had the wisdom to believe that this child was the one. In the darkness of a stable, they found light. and it changed their lives. And they were wise enough to avoid Herod and go home another way. They were truly wise men in search of the child. But isn't that us? We're the ones that are searching for Jesus. We come here tonight because we believe that Jesus is here in the Word, in the sacrament, in the community. And we come searching for Jesus week after week after week, day after day. But I am wondering if there aren't Herods in our lives as well. Herods who get in the way of our embracing Jesus, in finding the Christ. Events, situations, people who get in the way. As we're moving toward Jesus, embracing the Lord, and no, but you want really, you want this. This is good for you. Or what about this? They're in the way. And it's truly the wise people who know that and know the Herods for who they are and know that what they promise is a lie and what they tell us we need, we don't. The wise people who don't give up searching for Jesus. But that isn't everybody. There are some people who will let Herod get in the way and get very confused and end up in the dark. And that's the challenge of the gospel and the challenge of this feast. Are we the wise ones who know what we want to find, who won't give up in searching for Jesus, and do not let the Herods of our lives stand in the way? Please stand. Together, we profess our faith. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty,